Today we're gonna paint this bird on the snow.
If you're already a member of the Enjoying Art community, please plan to join us every Friday. We have 2 painting sections together. And this YouTube channel is all about how to paint and draw with relaxation. If this is the first time here, please subscribe and turn on notification.
How about the bird over here? How big you want it? And let's move the bird a little bit higher or lower. You want to have more snow or you want to have more of the sky? So you have to think about a simple question. So I'm going to see the bird right in the middle over here. How about that? So I'm going to the front, the back of the bird. And how about the bottom of the bird, the belly of the bird right here? Try to keep it a little simple. And the head would be here. Like that. And the mouth. Here you go. And now the tail. Says, you can see I just put a few key points to start the composition. And the front of the bird over here, a little bit coming, need to a little bit lower, like that. That's good. Now that's the location of the bird. And then you want to double check to see whether or not this is what you want. I think we really missed the possibility that we're actually meeting in person. Prepare. We're going to meet very soon. I'm going to come to you. Go to your city. We're going to meet very soon. This lake over here. You can outline a little bit of the shape of the snow. Like that. Here you go. This is the shadow shape. And coming in the back. We're going to start covering the biggest area. After we wet the outside, be careful. We want to have the clean edge around the bird, right? In this case, you don't want to immediately apply the wet color inside the bird while the outside is wet. But you can paint the shadow shape on the snow because those areas not touching to the outside wet area. Think about how they mix for the blue-gray color. It's not pure blue, so it must have a little red or yellow color in it. So I'm going to have some yellow color first, coming over here, right? You have some yellow color, immediately look like green because it has blue color in here. And then I'm going to have a little bit more blue color and have a little red color over here. I'm going to mix these 3 color together, all the color over here. I'm going to have a little bit more red coming over here. Oh, that may be a little bit too much like a brown. I'm going to get a little bit blue. So this is good. So this is how you mix any color, but don't afraid of it. Okay. Now we're going to take a whole load of paint with this flat brush. You don't want to use the calligraphy brush to cover this entire area. And I'm going to get it from the top. I'm going to have a little bit more blue. It's a Windsor blue green shade. Okay. I'm going to have this color a little bit more blue. It looks like it can be a little bit more blue coming down this way. Now, because I already done a very good drawing, so the edge is very easy. Okay, just watch me first, and before you paint it on your own. I'm gonna go a little bit faster, and I don't need to think too much because I already plan at the beginning. So I'm gonna see over here. Still look at your reference. You maybe change your mind. Okay, so coming on this side and coming up like this. Okay, here you go. Now I done the top over here. I'm gonna refill the color and keep coming over here. And just watch out the edge of this brush. It can make it really sharp. Okay, this really good. Okay, like this. Coming on this side, I'm gonna coming here like this. Don't worry about, oh, it's a large brush. I'm going to control it. Should be able to control it very easily. Okay, coming over here, in over here, coming out. And it doesn't have to be perfectly like that because the bird's hair can be different. Okay, now coming on this side, I'm going to go a little bit faster over here because on the other side, it maybe start getting drier and drier. So add the color and coming up like this. Okay, Now I'm gonna quickly coming into here because you don't want it to have a sharp line. I'm gonna just use like the corner of this brush. You can see that coming over here like this. Okay, I'm gonna fill in a little bit more color. Coming now, use inside this corner like this. Perfect. Now I'm gonna fill in the rest of the space. I'm gonna come a little bit like this on this shape. Okay. Now the shape look a little bit better. I like it. And I'm gonna make sure the accumulate wet over here, move it, coming, have a place to go. Splash some water into the background. And I'm gonna see how it look like. I'm gonna this way. Make it look like a snowy. Okay, like this. Now we're gonna work into the shadow areas of the snow. Do a little comparison. Which actually darker? Is it in over here darker or in the outside darker? So you need to do a little bit compare the value. We have been talking about value more and more in our get together. Yeah, take a look at inside here. Have a little bit red shade blue color. So I'm gonna take a little red shade blue color, and I'm gonna put it over here and make the color a little bit more even like this. And it's not so dark, so I'm gonna let go some of the paint, just a little bit. I'm gonna start putting that just half of the brush. You see that this color maybe a little bit too red, okay, too much. So I'm gonna mix that with the Windsor blue green shade a little bit. Now here you go. Now the color look a little bit better. Now I'm gonna only use the corner, okay, like this. And look like the value comparison. I'm gonna add a little water to the brush so we make it a little bit lighter like that. Here you go. And coming this way, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna move this a little bit lower. This shape a little bit lower. You still can change your mind if you want. Like coming over here, and here you go. A little bit like that. Okay, that's good. Now I'm gonna fix this shape. Okay, watch, and then I'm coming over here like that. Keep a little bit faster, like this. That's good. A little bit shape over here. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more water. Now coming over here to make it a little bit softer. Coming up like that, and a little tap like that. That's good, right? Keep it fun. Think about a little bit more fun, and whatever you come up with, and maybe just good enough for you. And now I'm gonna just use just the water. I'm gonna leave this color up here underneath the bird, and as just the shadow. That's good, like that. And I have a little bit color like this. So overall the color in the snow shadow, it actually look a little bit lighter than the outside sky. I'm gonna have a tap. Okay, whatever color is going to work out fine. Like this. I'm gonna tap. Just use the corner of this brush. Just like that. It's good. That's good. Now a little bit. Just use the corner. Tap. Whatever shape you come up with. It could be just fine. Just gonna be beautiful. Okay. And have a little bit like that. That's good. Actually, this week we have a lot more new member to join this, and I really like that. It really made me happy, and hopefully other member also decide to give it a try. And we're going to have the drawing process from next week before the painting process, so that members can have more time to prepare, and maybe you feel a little bit more ready to paint with everyone else. And the great thing is about interactive feature in this, and you can ask any questions and while you are here, right? And I'm going to soften this a little bit. Just use the clean brush, and it may be too soft. I'm going to take a look over here. I think I'm going to make this a little bit lighter. I'm going to clean up this a little bit more, and I'm going to even clean up a little bit more coming over here. Now I want it to a little bit lighter. That's fine. That's good. very easy to edit your shape. Okay, I think the shadow, it looks fine, except over here, a little bit too dark. So I'm gonna just use the water. This space is still wet. I'm gonna lift it up to make it a little bit lighter, like that. That's good. Okay, make it a little bit lighter. Our member exhibitions, the second one is coming up. If you have a painting work on, and please let me know if you need any help, okay? And here you go. And I'm gonna make this a little bit softer, that top over here a little bit lighter, and moving up. Okay, now we're gonna paint inside the bird. I'm using my calligraphy brush. This one is 100% white cloud gold hair, and with some added strength, so the brush hair can return back to the shape very quickly. And let's take a look at what is the color inside the bird. In the head is very much gray color, a little bit more like a gray, blue-gray color. On the body over here, a little bit warmer, right? Also on the body of the bird, it's a little bit lighter. And it looks like some little hair coming up like this. We probably can do a little scratch techniques. Okay, let's first start looking at my color palette. Over here, this is the color, and very close to the, maybe need a little bit red, a little bit too much blue color. And that's probably the good color. Now I'm gonna put it here. When you need the colors, always looking at your mixing area. Maybe already have the color already, okay? You don't always come back to the 3 primary color to start over. So when you paint it like this, and look around, what is the light area? You don't want to destroy the light area. This brush is very easy to control, but you need to make sure you look and leave the light area, like around the eye. It actually have some white shape. So I'm gonna paint it around the eye. So also seeing on this side, like this, turn around the brush, you can see the tip a little bit better, like this. So this is the shape for the eye. Now that's good. Now I'm gonna use a little bit water right after. I'm gonna just tap on it, take a look at the area over here. This is the time you got to take the time, use your patience, okay? Like leave the outside a little bit light. Okay, now coming over here. Now I'm gonna use the water, and actually look like I have a little bit more blue color. I'm gonna take a little blue over here and tap on it, and with the water coming down like this, and have a little bit more blue color, and coming to the body over here. Looks like I can use a little blue in here. Now I'm gonna just let go all the wet from my brush, and I'm gonna shape it. Now I'm gonna tap it on the edge over here. I'm gonna have a little bit softer, like say a little texture at the edge, like that. That's good. Like a little bit like this. Some a little bit soft. That's good. But I don't want to make it just smooth. Now at the bottom over here, the color start changing, have a little bit yellow. I'm gonna take a little yellow color, and you can see the color changing, get a little bit more yellow, and like this, a little bit more like a brown, light brown color. And I'm gonna get a little red, right? It's just watching the color. If you change color, and what color you change it to. And coming over here, I'm also going to use the tip of the brush. I'm going to showing a little bit lighter shape over here like this. It's nice changing like that. Ooh, I loved it. And a little bit shape over here like that. That's good. Right, now I'm going to continue into the back of the bird. I'm going to mix a little brown color. And I already have the gray color over here. So it's get a little red and a little yellow. And it would more like a brown color. And I'm gonna a little bit, we only use the 3 primary colors, and it just make it very easy to understand and calculate the color. And I'm gonna have a little bit more blue, and that's good. Now I'm gonna put the color on the back over here. We can do the details a little bit later. I'm gonna put that in here like that. and have the color connected. Maybe a little bit yellow, a little bit too much red. I'm gonna take a little yellow color into here. That's good. Now I'm gonna put this color on the back. It's just right. Okay. Pay attention. Everything you're painting, pay attention to it. And I actually make the bird a little bit brighter, and I like it. And I want to keep that. I'm going to coming over here. This merge together, that's okay. We can come back to do more separation after, okay? Like over here and coming in over here at a little darker area. We're going to need to add to it a little bit later on, okay? And the top over there, I'm going to have a little bit darker color. Have just the red and the blue color would become much darker. I'm going to, the back over here, have a little bit dark color like this. I'll leave a little white shape, that's fine. I'm going to drop in a little dark color over here for now. And that will be fine. Now we're going to, coming to the bottom over here, have a little gray color. I'm going to just take a little water with this, a little gray color coming over here. I'm going to separate that, not merge into too much. Okay, now I'm going to just use the water to move the color in, make it look smooth. And that's good, like that. Now successful. And I'm going to lift up a little color and the belly over here and make it a little lighter. And this brush can take color out and put the color in very efficiently. And the back over here, I'm going to do it a little bit later, because if you do it now, everything would merge together. It looks like out of control, right? Over here, I'm going to make it a little bit lighter too. Just leave it with the clean brush. Now I have a very nice backlight feeling. And over here, I'm going to soften this. And like that. It's nice. All right. I'm going to let it dry before I come back to do the second round. Actually, at this point, I can also add the orange color. So I'm going to take the yellow and a little red. I'm going to do the color to the mouth. And when you're thinking about a color, you're always thinking about how dark is that color. Like over here, the top over here is a little bit darker. Now going to the middle part, it starts look a little bit lighter. Okay, just think about how dark the color. If you need to be lighter, just add some water to it. Just add the water into the brush. Now I'm gonna coming over here. See that the color a little bit lighter, right? It's very easy. That's good. Now the whole bird is already dry. We're gonna come back to give it the final layer details for the bird. Before I walking into the body, I make sure I clean up the area for the bird, the mouth, because this is going to be a preparation when we come back. So making sure this is going to dry as when I come back over here. Maybe start from the back of the bird. So this is already wet. I'm going to come over here. Where I have some warm color over here, very nice. So I'm going to take a little bit cooler color and just, here you go. Now I'm going to add a little detail, looking for shapes. Don't looking for, let's say, oh, this is the feather. You know, you don't have to think about feather. You know it's a feather. And then you are going to, it's already in your mind, okay? Just think about something useful, like a visual shapes. I'm going to get a little bit warmer color and see a little big shape over here like that at the bottom over here. You see, there's the warm and a little big shadow, so you can see the layering of the feather like that. And just think about what's darker, what's lighter. Think about shapes. And then I'm going to let go the wet in this brush, and I'm going to soften and the side over here. You can see that now. I see a beautiful layering of the feather like this. And I'm going to have this a little gray color, maybe a little bit red. And I'm going to start over here. And after you put this color in here, I want you to clean the brush. Now just extend it softly, okay? Don't extend it all the way to here. Just a little bit so you can see the layering of the feather. And now have a little bit more details. Now I'm gonna add a little bit darker color. Take a little dark color. Now coming over here, a little bit darker like that. And coming to the bottom over here of the head, you can see that add a little bit detail like that. And a little bit small shape like that. Ooh, that's very powerful. It's good. So add a little water, just a little light color. Now connect it a little bit to the surrounding. Like that. That's good. Now the feathers almost there. I'm gonna add a little bit darker color into here. A little bit darker. Like that. A little darker. And that's good. Like that. Here you go. A little bit darker on the inside over here. And here you go. And a little darker shade coming here. And right in this area, I want to add a little bit darker because I'm going to do a little scratching, so showing the feather. So the preparation for that, it will be, we're making sure the color behind the light shape is going to be dark enough. So I'm going to make this a little bit darker like this. So otherwise, it won't show as good as the if the background layer is too light. Okay, like that. A little bit better. Like that. Also add a little more separation between the layers. Like this. That's good. Right? So I'm gonna have this a little bit softer, coming like this. That's good. Alright, now I'm gonna come to the head. The head is very easy. A little bit more blue color, a blue-gray color in the top over here. I'm going to show that a little bit stronger transition over there, like this. Now, after you have this color, you want to clean the brush and reshape it. And then coming over here and softly blend it in. And that's good. And now come to the mouth. And the mouth over here have a little bit warmer color on the top over here, like this. And connect to almost the eye over here. And the bottom over here has a little bit dark color right over here, like that. That's good. Now the head. And we'll come back to do the mouth and the eye a little bit later. Now I'm going to coming into the tail. You see that? There's always have the time for everything. Right? I'm going to take this color, it's pretty dark. And now let's come here. A little bit darker shape. A little darker shape over here. I can use the brush in the right movement so I can create that a little bit easier. Yeah, now I'm going to have a little bit more blue into this color because a little bit too warm. Now let's take a look. And the tail over here. Now I'm going to start from the top layer. One line, control that, is beautiful. Look before you start painting. Beautiful. You see that? How fine the line that you can control it. Good, that's good. Like that. And then coming in the back over here, we're going to have 1 and then 2, and after you paint this, you want to have a very thin line come all the way into here, like that. And then why don't I just do the line first and come back to do the top a little bit later. Keep going, a little bit closer together, a little bit closer together, like that. And here you go. How many more? Okay, 1, coming like this. Take your time. Like this. Here you go. 1 more. And coming in. Ooh, that's good. Now I'm gonna have a little bit darker color to take a look at in here. Now on the top over here, like that. And this, fine tune there a little bit over here. And a little bit like this. And here you go. Now the tail have been covered, and maybe a little bit higher over here. I'm gonna move that feather a little bit higher, and that's easy. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little bit sharper detail right there. Now we're gonna paint a little bit, and let's paint the leg. I'm gonna just use the same color, dark color. Now push it down and move it like that. If you can do it one brush stroke instead of multiple brush stroke, that would be even better with this calligraphy brush. And very easy to do that. And then coming over here, and here you go. Push it down and then up, and then down again, and then up. Okay, that's good. That's one leg. If you can do it once, and that'll be great. Like start over here, push it down, and move it. And then take a look and move a little bit. Don't move too fast, because it very texture and around the edge. Okay, I'm gonna push it down and then move it, and down again and move it. Oh, that's good. A little crawl coming over here like that, and a little crawl over here coming like this, and have a little bit on the back over here. Put it down and then up, and partially covered by the snow. That's fine, like that. A little bit closer. Okay, this is great, and the bird's almost there. I'm gonna come back with a little bit of this color, but it's only at the tip of the brush. It's very little color, and sometimes you need only very tiny colors. Okay, you don't need a lot of color. The magic by using this calligraphy brush, and sorry, I have to keep telling you the way I'm painting art, that including the tools, the colors that I use. Okay, so hopefully you appreciate this. And I'm going to, you can use the same brush as a larger brush, and also as a small tiny brush. You don't have to change the brush, and you don't have to use multiple brush as you, especially when you pack for travel. Okay, here like this, and add a little bit detail to the feather over here. Now we're gonna come into paint the eye. Let's take a look. Let's prepare inside the eye. Have a little brown gray color. So this will be the color, and maybe a little bit more red, and that's good, like this. Now we're painting inside over here. Still gonna leave the white border around, like this. Look at the inside the eye, like that's good. Now after that drive, we're gonna come to do the second round. Now we're gonna use this time to do the mouth, and I'm gonna mix a little orange color. Take the yellow color here with a little bit red. Now I'm gonna have the orange color that we need. Now the bottom over here, now I'm gonna fill in the color over here like that. Separate the upper portion of the mouth and the lower portion of the mouth, and over here a little bit brighter, like this. Good, like that. Now I'm going to use the water to soften this shape, just the water, and let go the wet. And now here you go. I'm going to soften this, and here you go, like this. It's good. Now the upper part and the lower part, just think about the value. You know what color is it, but you have to know how dark the color is supposed to be. Now the mouth is good. I'm gonna add a little dark color at the top over here, and that's good, like that. And also, actually in the hair over here, it's not just white, and I can see that a little bit light brown color, maybe a little orange brown color, and take this color like that. I'm gonna tap, just have some texture like this on the top of the head, and a little bit texture like that. That's good. But careful, don't want to destroy all the beautiful white color at the top. And sometimes if you too much texture, you still want to soften that a little bit. And I'm gonna open this brush a little bit, fence out a little bit. I'm gonna soften, and I'm gonna make the top over here a little bit lighter, like that. That's fine. Okay, now as I'm speaking all this, the legs already dried. I'm gonna have the shadow of the legs. I'm gonna have a little bit darker color, just the red and the Windsor blue green shade. A little bit more red. I'm gonna have this color a little bit darker. Now coming over here, and this side is supposed to be the shadow side, and coming in a little bit and create the stronger feeling. Okay, and also make it look more dimensional like this. That's good. And this one can be a little bit darker, like that. That's good. And that's good. That's good enough. Okay, now we come back to do the eye. Let's take a look. And there's not much to do with the eye, actually. That's just the outline, and then inside there's a pupil. So I'm gonna mix some color really dark, but I don't need lots of color, right? So make sure it is not really need to make too much water into that color. So I have a little bit more red color, like that. Mix is a very dark color, just this by using these two colors together. Okay, now we need to have a really fine tip. Now take a look. Very carefully look again, and use a very sharp tip of this brush, just almost like the tip that's the couple brush here, like that. That's good. And the bottom over here, a little here, and that is I think it's still a little wet, so I'm going to come back a little bit later, and I'm going to put a little dark color on the top over here. And at this time I'm going to just make a little darker color over here. After the color dry, it look a little bit light. I'm going to refine tone the shape over here. And what I'm going to do a little scratching for the hair. So I'm going to use, because it's already dry, so I'm going to use my X-Acto knife like this. Now here you go. I'm going to use it. When you use the X-Acto knife to scratch, you don't want to scratch too deep, just on the surface. But it's very persistent on the same line, the same stroke. Okay, this would be making sure you have a little bit more solid feeling of line. You don't have to draw too many lines. Okay, just a few to suggest that the hair actually be blew up from the body, like that. Like that. A little bit more. Just a few here. Like that. Oh, beautiful, right? It's a lot of suggestions. It's make you feel like a different variety of textures on the same little painting. Like that. And that's good over here. Now I come back to lift up a little color over here, so support this movement. I'm gonna lift a little color here, so enforce this movement of the hair. That's good. Yeah. And I'm gonna have some dark color, a very tiny dark color, and over here have a couple lines like that. That's good. And I'm going to give it even a little more over there. That's fine. And I'm going to come back with some dry color over here too, a little bit more like this, a little bit more. Now it's good. Let's finish the painting. Bye.